Hey, hi everyone, welcome back to the YouTube channel, and I hope you all are doing great. So, we are going to start with Engineering Foundation series, and this is the very first video of this particular series, and the topic is version control with Git. So, these are some of the things we are going to cover today. What is the exact problem, why the need of the version control, and what is exactly version control, what is the difference with Git and GitHub, where almost everyone gets confused, and some of the core concepts like what is repo, commit, branch, pull request, merge, push, and staging area. Okay, some of the essential commands we are going to look into and the live demo. So let's start. So consider that there is one scenario. You have the folder with my documents, and there is one another folder with the name engineering project. Okay, so engineering project is your directory, and or the folder you can consider, and there are some of the files which you have with the C extension. So for example, the project.c is your first file where you have done some of the changes. Okay, and you don't want to lose those that particular file, so you have made another file with project.final.c, and there are another changes you made, and the output of both the files differs. Okay, and there are some of the changes which project final has, and there are some of the changes which project.c don't currently have. Okay, and another situation where the current changes are not sufficient, and you just have this thought and you made the version 2, and similarly version 2 uses version 2 actually final and another file. So this is kind of situation everyone can go through it. Okay, and it can be sound like familiar kind of thing, right? So you after some kind of time that you have no idea what actually changed between all these particular files, and you also was scared to delete the existing file. That's why you created the new file with the another version, and if you want to share that particular file with your teammate, you have this particular fear that that particular teammate of yours do not overwrite your file, so you keep the backup of that file as well. Okay, so you have the working feature, and you have this fear that particular working feature should not break, so you want to keep the backup and you keep the backup. Okay, but what if you just forget to save the file, and your laptop dies, that it doesn't have the battery, and it's just shuts down, so you don't have the backup. Now you have left with zero backup. So what's the solution for this? The solution is the version control. Okay, so you can consider the version control kind of the system where all the changes you have done till now will be saved, and all the changes in the file will be saved, and you can also keep track of them. You can recall who has changed a particular file, and at what time that particular file has changed, and in this kind of thing you will never going to lose your work. Okay, so there are three total types of the version control: local version control system, centralized version control system, and distributed version control system. Okay, so local version control system is the kind of local system. For example, on your laptop, on your VS Code, you have the changes and you have saved them. Okay, that is kind of local version control system. You do not have backup, you just have backup on your VS Code on that particular folder. Okay, so second type is centralized version control system. So centralized version control system where there is one central server which holds the history of yours. You save the changes and you have changes as a backup on the centralized version control system. Okay, so everyone can connect to it, and if the particular server goes down, you will lose your work. So no one will be able to do the work which you have particularly on your centralized VCS. Okay, so there are some of kind of centralized VCS with examples. For example, CVS is there, then SVN is there, and Perforce is there. Okay, CVS is a concurrent version control system. Okay, concurrent version control system is kind of old and simple outdated kind of system. After that, the newest version of concurrent version system is Apache Apache SVN which came later, and that is the newest and improved version of CVS. Okay, so that is reliable and that is still used in some of the industries. But as I said, if the server goes down, there is no guarantee that you will gonna get your work back. Okay, then there is distributed VCS, which is the Git comes into the picture, and this is kind of system which is completely open source, and every developer have the full copy of the entire history, at what time the particular file is changed, who has changed it, who has merged that particular file, and how this particular thing works offline. Okay, so this is kind of distributed business where Git comes into the picture. Okay, so why Git and what is this exactly? Okay, so let's understand, like you have one particular project. Okay, and you want this project to changed by someone else as well, and you want to keep the track who has particularly changed that particular project. Okay, so this is kind of open source system. Okay, you want to allow your friend, your teammate to change into your project, but at the same time you also want to keep the track who has changed at what time. Okay, so how Git is going to help you? Git is fast, branching is there, this is distributed, industry standard, and obviously everyone in the company uses the Git. So it is command line system. Okay, it is fast because it runs locally on your machine, and there is multiple branches you are able to create with the Git. If you have one branch which is main or master branch, you can create another second branch with another feature, and you can push your changes that can be available into your that branch but not on the main branch. You also have this kind of thing. Okay, distributed means you have the full backup, and if you have that particular project on your system, other persons can also have the copy of that particular project. Okay, industry standard because every tech company uses this currently, and this particular thing is acceptable by each and everyone, and everyone expects that you should know why Git, what Git, and what is the difference between Git and GitHub. Okay, so everyone gets confused in this particular area. What is this kind of terms? Why Git, what Git, and what is GitHub? Okay, so as I said, Git is just a command line tool. It runs locally on your machine. I am going to see you how we can install Git. Okay, and Git is particularly for tracking the versions of your code. Okay, so what is GitHub? GitHub is kind of website where you are going to push some of your changes into the repositories. Okay, so consider GitHub as the website which is hosted somewhere. You are going to create new repository. Repository means your project where all the changes will be visible, and it can be public, it can be private. It is completely depends upon you. If you want to share your particular project with other persons, keep it public, so they can also clone your repository. That means they also have the copy of your repo, and everyone can collaborate together. Okay, and also you will have the backup remotely. Okay, so also you can create some of the issue means if you found that this particular change is needed, and this particular version is not version, the implementation of the particular thing is missing, you can create issue and assign it to someone. Okay, then the pull request. If you think that this is particular feature which should be implemented, and you just done the changes and push your changes to the repo, then the pull request will be created. Then the other owner and the other member with the right permissions have that particular responsibility to review it and merge your code. Okay, the portfolio, this way you have multiple projects on GitHub, and the same way you can showcase it into your resume that this is particular things with this particular history, at this particular time I made this particular changes, and the particular projects I have into my portfolio. Okay, so these are some of the core concepts that everyone should know, that what is repository, what is Git, what is commit, what is branch, what is staging area, what is pull request, what is merge, what is remote. Okay, let's start with the repository, as everyone must have great idea of the repository till now. This is the kind of folder the main folder, and inside this particular main folder there will be subfolders, and inside subfolders there are some of your files. Okay, so this particular folder is your GitHub repo. Okay, commit. Commit is the saved snapshot of the particular change you have done in particular time. Okay, let's suppose there is one file, you have made some of the changes. Let's suppose there is one button on the UI, you want to change the color of that button. You did the change, and you just want to save that particular change. You did the commit. Okay, that is the saved snapshot. Then there is a branch, you want to create new feature. You want to have on the UI the new feature which is called as the new button, or you want to color the UI with new way. Okay, you want to change the appearance of the UI. So you will be going to create one new branch where the change will be available, but that will not be merged with your master branch. That will be the independent change. In that case, you will going to create the new branch. Okay, then there is a staging area. So staging area is kind of some zone kind of things where all the uncommitted changes, unsaved changes with the files will be available. So for example, you have changed multiple files, you have not yet saved them, then the staging area will show you that these are particular files which are not yet saved. Okay, then there is a remote. What is remote? Remote is something which is hosted online. You have the copy of that particular, and other team members can also collaborate on the same thing. Others can also access it. For example, github is completely remote. It is hosted on the cloud and everyone can access it at the same time. Okay, then there is a workflow, how Git works exactly. So the working directory where the files are available, and then there is a staging area, you made some of the change, then you add that particular file. Local repository, you committed the change. Okay, and now you are ready to push the change into the remote repository. This kind of workflow, this is how Git works. Some of the essential commands of the Git. Okay, Git init, you just initialized your repository, initialized your project, the main project with Git init. Okay, so it started tracking your project. Then there is a Git status. If there are some of the files you have changed and you want to see what files changed by you, then you will see after Git status that this particular files have been changed. If you want to add one of file to the repo, then git add file name. Okay, if you want to save that, git commit -m with some of the message. It will save the snapshot with the message that this particular file is saved by you. Okay, git log will show you that how many commits have been made by you till now. Okay, git branch with the name is used for creating new branch. Git checkout branch with the branch name is used for switching to another branch. Git merge branch name is combining the branches together. So the new branch created by you and the master branch will be combining if you do git merge and with the branch name. Git push helps you to do the committed changes to the remote repository. Git clone and the URL. So if you have hosted your repository on your GitHub, someone else have this particular kind of permission that they can clone your repo with the URL. Okay, let's start with the demo. So as you can see, I have my documents directory inside that engineering project and some of the files. So project.c is having hello universe and some minimal changes with the project final hello git, and project final version 2 with hello git, and the year is printed. Okay, so let's redirect into the directory that is engineering project. Okay, let's initialize this particular repo as the git repo, and that can be done using git init. I already did, but I'm doing it once again, so it will be reinitialized as the git repository. Okay, so before that, let us create one new repo into our GitHub. So let's do that. Okay, So now I am in my GitHub repo, and you can see I don't have any repo created. Let's create one more repo, naming it as engineering project once again, and you can give any description to it, change the visibility, public, private, completely depends upon you. If you want to create readme file with some of the description that what is currently happening inside your engineering project, you can add the readme git ignore file with any of the language selected and the license if you want to create. Let's create the repository. Okay, so this is particular HTTPS or SSH options available for cloning the repo. If your friend wants to clone the repo, they can use this particular thing. Okay, okay. So these are the some of the commands which are given, and we currently want this particular URL to be added as the remote repo of ours, right? So we will use this particular command git remote add origin and this particular URL. So I'm currently pasting this command. So this particular repo will be the local repo, and the GitHub hosted repo will be your remote repo. Okay, if you want to check, you can simply check using git remote -v. So you can see that this is what we have currently. Okay, so let us check if you have anything in your directory. So you can see these are some of the untracked files you have not yet committed. Okay, let us add these particular files. If you want to add one specific file, you can directly add it like this. If you want to add multiple files together, you can use git add dot, so every file will be added. And if we go and check the status right now, you can see that this particular files are added but are not yet committed. These are just the changes which you are able to see. Okay, okay. Then let us do some of the changes in any of the file. Let's suppose we are doing it here. We will be adding one more command, and we'll simply print the message like hello world and GitHub. Okay, and we will simply give the semicolon. Okay, and if you want to check what is exactly happened, you can see that printf hello git was there, and printf hello world comma github has been added. If you want to check what has been changed, you can again do the change, and you can again re-verify that the comma is now gone. If you want to do change in the existing command, existing file, you can check that this is how it was, and now this is what we have done. Okay, let's do the status, and you can see we have modified this particular file project final.c, and let us add this particular file as well. Okay, we have added this file. Let's check the status. We have this particular files, and let us commit these files. Okay, so with the meaningful message like some C files. Okay, and we have committed, and you can see we have 3 final changes. Okay, we are currently on our main branch. Okay, I haven't created any new branch. I'm showing you everything on the main branch. You can even verify it using the git status. You can see we are on the branch master. Okay, so now we have committed the changes. Okay, so now we are going to push our changes into the master branch. For that, we'll using git push -u origin master. And here it is. We have successfully pushed our changes. Let's look into the browser. Okay, so let's refresh, and you can see we are having our changes, and with the message some C files. Okay, so these are some of the beginner friendly mistakes which you should avoid as a beginner, and these are some of the things which are not mentioned here, but we should also be keep track of them. For example, most of the peoples get confused with merge and rebase. Why we use merge, why we use rebase, and what is the exact difference between them. Okay, so the kind of scenario. Okay, you created new branch and you post your changes to the repo, okay, and you made some of the changes into the same branch, okay, and someone else with your team also has the access to that particular branch, and they are also seeing that these are the changes made by you, okay, and they also have taken that particular branch into their machine, and they also want to do some of the changes. Now there is one hash id which gets changed if you do git rebase, and the comments and all the changes made by that particular team member will going to vanish if you do git rebase, okay. So in this particular case, if you want to keep your particular branch or the changes or the paths updated with the main branch, this time you should be use git merge, okay. We're going to see in one detailed video that what's the difference between git merge and git rebase. For now this is okay, but these are some of the do's and don'ts which you should follow, okay. For example, let's take an example of what we should follow. Git ignore is one file which is used for ignoring some of the files, some of the unnecessary files. Let's suppose that you have the main project where you have some of the confidential information like login id and password, and you don't want to push it into the GitHub. So in this case, the git ignore file should have this particular file listed, that this particular file is not going to get into my pushed changes, okay. You should also verify git status, that these are particular files are going into the remote repository. You should check the logs that these are the changes made by you, and you should also use the clear message each and every time that these are the changes are made by you, and you should create the new branch every time whenever you are going to work on the new feature, okay. And do not use vague messages, and every time create new branch so that other team members can also keep the track of the progress that you are making, and also take care of that if you're working on node.js node modules and some of the build files which are unnecessary, some of the api keys and the secrets, that your passwords and all should not going to be pushed on your remote repository, okay. So these are particular things that you should keep into mind. So quick recap of what we have seen now, okay. So we have seen that Git is a tool which runs locally onto your computer and it's completely offline, okay. And GitHub is a cloud, it's the it is something which works with everyone, and this is the open source and this is built for the collaboration. How workflow works, and how some of the terms differ, what is pull request, what is staging area, okay, and some of the commands in the live demo we have seen small commits, how clear messages we can give, and yeah, this is about this particular video. And in the next video we are going to see how branching and merging works, okay. Till then, please do not forget to share this video, like if you like, and please subscribe to the channel, and stay tuned for the next updates, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.